hymn to have, as well as the one we're going to close with, which I partially like because it's a Transylvanian theme in our tradition. So how about another holiday? We think we need another holiday. That's my thinking. Now I think we should call it National Pajama Day.
Yes.
It's the day you get up and never get out of your pajamas. Now, you don't have to worry about going out in public because you don't go out in public either. You stay home. There's no big meal. There's no visiting. There's no shopping. There's no going to work. There's no sending cards. You just do nothing. You stay at home. Still, quiet, never get out of your pajamas. I think about that a lot around this time of the year. I think of the oft-quoted line in Psalms 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still and know. Be still. Stillness is a place and a power. And we need to find the stillness. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, for whom some of us still grieve, once wrote, "There is no need to go to India or any place else to find peace. You will find that deep place of silence right in your room, your garden, or even in your bathtub." Stillness is a prerequisite for the quietness necessary for hearing. Hearing others. Hearing nature. Hearing yourself. Hearing God. The immanent, still small voice inside. Deep listening is a great spiritual practice. It's at the heart of pastoral care. In fact, a lot of people say we shouldn't even call it pastoral care, it's pastoral presence. And what you do with that presence is deep listening to the person you're with. It's at the heart of friendship. Indeed, it's the cornerstone of civilization. We can't hear when we're talking, regardless of what some people would say. We also can't hear when we're thinking of a rebuttal, or a rejoinder, or a response. If there's no listening, there's no relationship. And that includes nature. If we want to get beyond the surface, there's a nice reading in our hymnal by Wendell Berry. "When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in its beauty on the water and where the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free." There are a lot of famous listeners that we know about. That certainly is the reputation of Native Americans. And for the Tolkien fans, think of Ents, wonderful listeners, or the Rangers. It's a closeness they have to the earth, and that closeness comes from listening to it. Even the land knows to rest. The Roman poet Ovid wrote, "Take rest. A field that has rested gives a bountiful crop." Hopefully, at least we're that smart. Otherwise, we'd be dumber than dirt. And can you hear yourself? Really? You know, all those meditation folks say, well, you need to empty yourself out. I've tried that. I've never been able to do it. Because usually what's going on in my head is like being in a room full of an array of multiple disc CD players, all on random select going at the same time. There are times I think if I can get it to where it sounds like one tape player at a normal speed, I've accomplished a great deal. And frequently that's when I learn things. And what I learn is usually something I already knew, but I had forgotten. We need to slow down, to be still, to listen, to follow the advice of Lily Tomlin, a great philosopher. For fast-acting relief, try slowing down. Or the early 20th century divine and social gospel luminary Henry Emerson Fosdick, who we should really know more about. I loved it. He said, no one can get inner peace by pouncing on it. Really, it's not easy. It's countercultural. It's countercultural to really relax, to slow down. There is nothing in our culture telling us to do that. To really be still, to really be able to hear yourself. I'd advise the ancient Chinese proverb that goes, tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. And we're going to the Southern Dharma Retreat Center. It's a great little place up between Hot Springs and Asheville, North Carolina, for a Christian Buddhist contemplative workshop weekend. And I realized after a while, as they were giving us our instructions, that what they were saying in a very nice way was, sit down and shut up. That's on Friday, and then on Sunday you resume. How hard is that? One of the Zen practicing Roman Catholic monks who was there, he put it that when people are anxious, they need to don't just do something, sit there. Flipping it around. Don't just sit there and do something. No. Don't just do something, sit there. And if you can't hear yourself, then how can you hear the still small voice? The voice of your inner light. The voice of the immanent God within. Regardless of your theological context, we can all say, be still and know. Stillness is not only a place, it is a power. Only in that place of inner stillness can we find inner peace. And at that center lies our strength. While some politicians have proclaimed peace through strength, I say unto you, you can only find strength through peace. Without inner peace in our place of stillness, we are liable to have that energy of which we are composed, sapped and dissipated by tension, anxiety, and fear. Remember that ancient Chinese proverb. And here's a new Barry proverb. You are never too busy to relax. You are never too busy to relax. It's kind of the flip side of the faster I go, the behinder I get. Many of us have experienced that. And I find that sometimes, even in terms of conflict, I know ministers with a really good spiritual discipline, and a lot of other people are really good at this. They can be in a terrible conflict, and they realize all of a sudden that their palms are getting a little sweaty, their breathing is getting kind of shallow and rapid, their heart rate's going up, and they start meditating. You can't tell by looking at it. But they're watching their breath. They're getting their composure back. They're finding that inner place of strength and peace where they can deal with the situation. It's a real skill. Breathe, relax, go to the stillness. Breathe routinely and intentionally. Relax, Choose whatever technique works for you now. There's not just one size fits all. If you have a technique, it works for you, it works for you now, that's the one you should take. You don't need to go to India. I'm always amazed by people who are anxious about the speed of their spiritual journey. Really, you run into them all the time. They need to relax and adapt and adjust. To mix metaphors, which I've done already, stillness can have a gyroscopic effect. It keeps you centered. It keeps you solid. It keeps you confident. It is a place of safety and strength. It is a place of sanctuary. It can help you to keep from getting knocked off course when ill winds buffet you. And to mix metaphors again, your place of stillness can be your homing beacon when you're lost, when you're at sea. Relaxing into it can be your rudder, map, and compass, leading you home to the safe harbor. So, pay less attention to zip codes and more attention to rip cords. Find the stillness. Be still and know